NieR was a unique RPG which was a follow-up to one of the multiple endings from the original Drakengard. While NieR wasn't as successful as other Square Enix titles, the game had a very loyal fan following, and now after 7 years, the publisher along with Platinum Games has brought us the sequel, NieR Automata. Featuring fast-paced combat, an open world to explore, and an intriguing story to follow, NieR Automata has a lot to offer RPG fans. What do I think of this game? Here are my game reflections of NieR Automata.
Glory to mankind.
Glory to mankind.
NieR Automata is a pretty unconventional sequel. While it does contain some story elements and Easter eggs from the previous game, the story of NieR Automata also works as a standalone title, as the events of the game take place long after the original NieR. Set in the far distant future, this game stars androids 2B and 9S, who are part of the Yorha organization that fights on mankind's behalf. The only remaining humans have fled to the moon, as Earth has been overtaken by aliens and their vast army of machine lifeforms. 2B, 9S, and their other Yorha companions fly down to the planet's surface to do battle with the machine forces and fight to reclaim humanity's true home. Startling revelations await 2B on her journey, as she discovers that many of the machines are acting strangely and are trying to create new societies of their own. The relationship between the androids and machines becomes a very captivating central conflict, and as the game progresses, the story touches on some very thought-provoking subjects like religion, existence, and one's true purpose. Of course, the story wouldn't be as engaging without great characters to follow, and I found the cast of NieR Automata to be very interesting. The main characters go through some excellent story arcs, and I loved the side conversations like when 9S is trying to get 2B to call him by his nickname, Nines.
Watch out for hostile enemies, 2B.
Roger that, 9...
Huh? Wait, what did you just say?
Roger that, 9S.
Wait, no, that's not what you said. You said 9s. Or at least something close to.
Cut the chatter and engage the enemy.
The machines are great characters themselves, as despite the danger they pose, a majority of their dialogue is hilarious and sometimes quite adorable.
I have decided I shall make this our kingdom and declare our independence. What's a kingdom? Well, it's sort of like a large house.
Like the original NieR, NieR Automata has multiple endings, and you'll want to complete all of them to see the story in its entirety. You start off with 2B, and after a few hours you'll reach her ending and be able to play as 9S. You'll revisit some of the same story beats and locations, but stick with it and you'll be discovering some compelling backstory and lore.
Whether in wind or rain, thunder or snow, or even amidst the rising flames of war, they were always together. They never understood why, and yet they spent their lives nestled together, forever, forever and ever.
After you finish the second ending, you'll gain access to the third act of the game, where the story kicks into overdrive and the stakes are raised considerably. I won't say much more, but know that once you reach the game's fifth and final true ending, you are rewarded with a positively terrific and touching finale. I greatly enjoyed the story of NieR Automata. It is filled with spectacular set pieces, awesome plot twists, and beautiful character moments. It's sometimes a bit quirky, and even occasionally breaks the fourth wall, and all the storytelling elements combined made for a supremely fascinating experience.
9S.
2B.
Come on. Let's go home.
Fighting the machines of NieR Automata is consistently thrilling, as 2B can execute all sorts of stylish combat maneuvers. Different weapons will give you different combos to perform, but the combat is still quite simple and satisfying. Dodging incoming attacks, using your pod to provide long-range support, and outmaneuvering your opponents are all part of what makes the combat in this game so much fun. Enemies will often fire projectiles that take the form of large red orbs, and avoiding these gives the game the feeling of a bullet hell shooter. In fact, certain parts of the game are played in Android flight units, as well as a hacking minigame, where this gameplay style is in full swing. The dynamic and seamless transition between these various gameplay styles makes many of the game's encounters a blast to play. The camera will often switch perspectives, but it's done in a way that is never obstructive to the player, and if anything, I found them to be a cool way to keep battles fresh throughout the game. Platinum Games are one of the best studios for action-filled boss battles, and NieR Automata does contain some truly great fights, many of which feature the aforementioned change in gameplay styles. The boss battles range from an enormous mechanical behemoth to a rapidly evolving android, and I found all the game's major battles to be utterly engaging.
These is control system.
Affirmative. Infiltrating enemy subunit. Behavior table adjusted. Balance controls overridden. Enemy unit subjugation complete.
Just die already!
The world of NieR Automata is comprised of several zones that make up this game's open world. There's a lush forest, a vast desert, and even a machine amusement park. While the world isn't as large or as dense as some other RPG titles out there, I did find the locations to be very pretty, and there are a good deal of side quests to keep you busy, particularly in the earlier parts of the game. These side quests are a nice mix of standard fetch quests, along with more unique ones like testing your skills against Father Servo, or racing a robot through the city landscape. While not required, these side quests do help your characters level up, as well as providing upgrade materials for your weapons and battle chips to equip on your character. The chips are actually one of this game's more unique features. By purchasing more space on your character's OS chip, you can adjust things like increased damage, invincibility frames, regenerating health, and so on. Finding the right balance between attack, defense, and utility that works for you is really neat, and once I fully maxed out my OS chip, I felt quite unstoppable. With all the different weapon combinations, character builds, and pod abilities, there's actually a decent amount of variety for how you wish to play the game, and it makes tackling both the side quests and the main story all the more fun. One of the true stars of this game is its music. NieR Automata has one of the best video game soundtracks I've ever heard. The music helps guide your emotions in every scenario, and some of the pieces in this game are quickly making it into my favorites. Absolutely gorgeous vocal tracks like Rays of Light are fantastic, and more intense pieces like Become as Gods make the combat sections even more impressive. The soundtrack for NieR Automata is nothing short of spectacular, and even if you aren't interested in playing the game itself, you should definitely check out the music. NieR Automata is well worth checking out for lovers of RPGs and action games. The gameplay is incredibly fun and dynamic, and the storytelling will keep you hooked all the way through this 25 to 30 hour adventure. While some more prominent role-playing games came out around its release, NieR Automata is not to be overlooked, as it brings some very unique and very amazing ideas to the table. I positively enjoyed my time with NieR Automata, and the journey it took me on still has me thinking about it long after I finished the final ending.
They abandoned him in the deep, dark ocean. And from the cold at the bottom of the sea, he cried out, "Mother, Mother, Mother, Mother." But his voice never reached his mother.
Thank you for watching this episode of Game Reflections. What are your thoughts on NieR Automata? Feel free to share in the comments below. Until next time, keep having great adventures, everyone.
Run. Run. Not this way.